Magandang araw sa ating lahat. Today, meron tayong topic na kailangan nating i-discuss. We have the Philippine Criminology Profession. Ang discussion natin dito ay naka-confine sa Republic Act 11131 or the Criminology Profession Act of 2018. Basically, ang video na ito ay intended for the first year students of Northwestern University na merong subject na Introduction to Criminology. Ngayon, nabanggit natin that we are going to talk about Republic Act 11131. Yan yung ating controlling law with regard to the criminology profession in the Philippines. Pero syempre, bago tayo nagka-Republic Act 11131, meron tayong Republic Act 6506 or the Act or an Act creating the Board of Examiners for Criminologists in the Philippines and for other purposes. Yan yung old law. And the new law na nag-amend or nag-repeal dito sa batas na to ay yung Republic Act 11131. Ngayon, pagka binuklat natin mga kapatid yung Criminology Profession Act of 2018, makikita natin sa Section 2 yung Statement of Policy. Ano nga ba yung Statement of Policy? Para sa kaalaman ng lahat. Ang Statement of Policy, yan yung reason or rationale ng ating legislative body kung bakit nila ginawa itong batas. Yan yung dahilan kung bakit kailangan gawan ng batas. Bakit nabuo yung RA 11131 natin. So, para lubos nating magamay yung ibig sabihin ng batas na ito, kailangan basahin natin ano ba yung Statement of Policy. Sabi dito, the state recognizes the importance of criminology profession in national security, public safety, peace and order, and in nation building and development. So yung unang sentence ng Statement of Policy ay nire-recognize yung kahalagahan ng criminology profession. At sabi nga rito, mahalaga siya pagdating sa seguridad ng ating bansa, seguridad ng publiko, peace and order, at parte na rin ng nation building. Kasi paano ka nga naman kasi magkakaroon ng nation building and development, di ba? Kung walang public safety, peace and order, and national security. Second sentence. Hence, it shall develop and nurture competent, virtuous, productive, and well-rounded criminologists whose standards of professional practice and service shall be excellent, qualitative, world-class, and globally competitive through sacred, honest, effective, and credible licensure examinations, coupled with programs and activities that would promote professional growth and development. Ano ibig sabihin natin doon? Okay. Sa makatuwid, ang dahilan pala kung bakit ginawa ng legislative body ang pag-improve doon sa RA 6506 na lumang batas natin is para maiangat yung professional standing ng criminology profession sa Pilipinas. To cut it short, di ba? Para maiangat ang antas ng pagiging professional ng criminology professionals. Yan yung ating Statement of Policy. Basically, ginawa ang batas na to to improve our profession. Ngayon, as to objectives, ano nga ba yung mga nais makamit ng RA 11131? Ano ba yung covered dito sa batas na to? we have the following. Covered dito ang examination, registration, and licensure examination for criminologist. And kapag kapasa ng isang examinee sa criminology licensure examination, nandito rin yung supervision, control, and regulation of the practice of criminology. Letter C, the standardization and regulation of criminology education. Kailangan merong uniformity. No? Hindi pare-pareho ang panukat natin sa bawat school. D, the development of the professional competence of criminologists through CPD or yung continuing professional development. We will dive on that topic in a different video siguro para mas maintindihan natin. Kasi sa kasalukuyan, yan ay issue. Hindi lang sa criminology profession, kundi sa maraming professional, including other profession. Please bear with me with the noise. Tsaka yung sa quality ng video natin. Hindi kasi masyadong techy yung kuya ninyo. So, pagtsagaan muna natin yung ganitong quality. Letter E, the integration of all criminology professional groups and membership of all registered criminologists to the accredited professional organization. Yan. Mahalaga din yan, no? Kasi issue hanggang ngayon yung pagkakaisa sa isang organization ng mga criminologists in the country. Okay. Dati kasi voluntary ang mag-member sa isang organization. But dahil sa batas na ito, we will learn later na hindi na siya voluntary kundi mandatory. And then, let us dive to the definition of terms. Ano ba yung mga terminologong ginamit dito? Una, meron tayong tinatawag na APO. Pag sinabi nating APO, yan yung Accredited Professional Organization of Criminologists. Ngayon, to cut it short, ang APO po natin sa kasalukuyan ay the PCAP or the Professional Criminologist Association of the Philippines. Yan po yung logo ng PCAP. Yan yung sinasabi natin dati na voluntary ang mag-member pero ngayon ay mandatory dahil nga sa meron tayong batas na Republic Act 11131. Okay. Ngayon, that the Professional Regulatory Board for Criminology created hereunder and hereinafter referred to as the board as the one and only recognized and accredited integrated national organization of criminologists subject to the approval of the Professional Regulation Commission, hereinafter referred to as the Commission under RA 8981 or yung PRC Modernization Act of 2002. Okay, ang APO, yan po yung organization na kung saan ay kailangan magsama-sama ang lahat ng criminologist sa Pilipinas. Kailangang magpa-accredit ng isang organization para siya ay maging APO. Okay? At kailangan yang i-approve ng PRC. Maaari yang magbago mga kapatid, yang APO. Pero sa kasalukuyan, yan po yung pick-up natin. Okay. Another term is the board. Pag sinabing board, simply means yung Professional Regulatory Board for Criminologists. Ang dating pangalan yan, yan yung Board of Criminology kung tawagin natin. At yan yung logo. Board of Criminology. Sa baba, merong Professional Regulation Commission. At kapag sinabi nating CHED, we are referring to the Commission on Higher Education. Yan ay isang government institution under the Office of the President na ang mandato is to supervise, oversee, and regulate higher institutions of learning. Okay. So, kung college ang pinag-uusapan, we have CHED. Kung high school, we have DepEd and including elementary. And kasali na rin yung alternative learning system natin dyan sa DepEd. And kapag vocational courses naman, we have the TESDA. Okay. Now, letter D, meron tayong tinatawag na commission. Pag sinabing commission sa batas na ito, we have the PRC or the Professional Regulation Commission. Another term is criminology. Obviously, ito yung profession natin. And under this law, pag sinabi natin criminology, we refer to the scientific study of crimes, criminals, and victims. It also deals with the prevention and solution of crimes. So, sa traditional definition, kung ikukumpara ninyo sa mga napag-aralan natin, diba, pag sinortcut mo ang criminology, we refer to it as the study of crimes and criminals. But under the law, etong law na to, RA 11131, kasali rin ang victimology and the prevention and solution of crimes. Okay. Para ano lang, clear, no, kasali. And then we have profession. Pag sinabi nating profession, yung criminology, which refers to the art and science in the practice of criminology discipline. Kung bakit siya art and science, pag-usapan natin yan doon sa discussion proper ng ating introduction to criminology in another video. And we have registered criminologist. Pag sinabing registered criminologist, mga kapatid, tatandaan natin dyan, we are referring to a natural person. Tayo, mga individual being, tayo yung natural person. Diba? Because under the law, we have two kinds of person. The natural and the juridical. Later on, pag-usapan natin kung ano yung juridical. Ngayon, yung natural person na to, kailangan merong dalawang i-comply. Una, para matawag siyang registered criminologist, kailangan meron siyang valid certificate of registration. Pangalawa, meron siyang updated PIC or Professional Identification Card as criminologist. Ngayon, pag meron ka niyan, you are considered as registered criminologist under this law. Okay. Pag expired, hindi ka considered criminologist. Expired eh. Ang sabi dito, updated. Kung wala kang valid COR, hindi ka rin criminologist kahit pumasa ka sa board exam. Bakit? Eh, yun ang sabi dito eh. Okay. Now, under this law, ano nga ba yung scope of practice ng criminology? Basically, malawak, no? Gentlemen and ladies. Yung pagpupulis, halimbawa, that is only considered as a practice of profession under RA 11131. So, it is not the profession per se, yung pagpupulis. Hindi siya mismo yung criminology, kundi only a part of criminology. Kasi kung ikukumpara mo ang law enforcement profession at criminology profession, mas malawak ang criminology profession sapagkat hindi lang ito tungkol sa pagpupulis. No? Ngayon, under law enforcement, yung role mo o position mo in agencies gaya ng PNP, NBI, PDEA, BFP, BGMP, Bucor, BIR, Bureau of Customs, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas at marami pang iba under the Executive Department na kung saan ang function mo ay investigation, intelligence, VIP security, and quasi-police duties. Yan ay considered as a practice of criminology under the law. Okay? So, kailangan ma-regulate. Number 2, academic roles teaching criminology. Yan, yung pagiging instructor, professor, lecturer, no? In recognized institutions. When you teach criminology subjects, you are considered in line with the practice of criminology. Number 3, forensic specialist expertise. Gaya na lang ng pagiging sa area ng fingerprint analysis, forensic chemistry, DNA testing, question documents, firearms identification, and lie detection, you are considered in the practice of criminology. What else? We have correctional administration positions. Kung ikaw man ay mapapadpad, no, sa mga prisons and jails natin, o kaya naman corrections institutions or correctional institution, in rehabilitation, correctional and penal institutions, or community-based correction programs, that is a practice of criminology. Another is in research and consultancy or advisory or research roles or position, kung saan ang topic ay criminological issues, crime causation, offender treatment, police operations, and public safety. That is considered the practice of criminology. And including private sector, number 6, mga kaibigan, kung ang role mo ay private investigator, consultant, detectives, or agents in private security and investigation agencies, you are considered in the practice of criminology profession. So kung mapapansin ninyo, ito rin yung mga role or mga opportunity na maaaring pasukan ng isang registered criminologist. That is the scope provided or defined under this law. Okay. And take note, however, mga kaibigan, that the board, in consultation with the APO and the academe, ano nga ulit yung APO? PCAP. Pag sinabi namang academe, school, subject to the approval of the commission. Sinong commission yan? We have the CHED, no? And DPRC. May revise, exclude from, or add to the above enumerated acts or activities as the need arises to conform with the latest trends in the practice of criminology in the country. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ang ibig sabihin nun, itong mga binabanggit dito na institusyon o government agency ay may kapangyarihang dagdagan kung ano yung nasa sulat sa batas na considered practice of profession. O kaya naman magtanggal ng mga nakasaad dito sa listahan na practice of profession na ikonsiderang hindi na practice of profession. Sir, bakit naman ganun? Kasi nga, di ba, it is a basic concept in criminology that criminology is dynamic as a profession. Ibig sabihin, nagbabago. Nagbabago ang practice ng criminology together with the changes in society and together with the changes or advances of technology. Next, we have the so-called PRB. Ito yung nabanggit natin kanina. The Professional Regulatory Board for Criminologists. Ulitin ko lang, ang PRB natin mga kapatid, yan yung dating tinatawag nating Board of Criminology. Hanggang ngayon, ang PRB natin, yun pa rin ang ginagamit na logo as of the moment. Okay? Ngayon, ang nasasaad dito sa RA 11131, ang komposisyon ng ating PRB ay may 5 tao. We have 1 chairperson and 4 members. Para ka maging PRB member, ang mag-a-appoint sa'yo ay si President of the Philippines at ang mag-e-endorse sa'yo ay APO, which is the PCAP, and the PRC. Okay. At mamimili si President. May sasubmit yung papel sa Malacanang at siya mag-a-appoint. Ngayon po, as of the moment, ito po ang ating PRB. We have Honorable Ramil G. Gambaw as a chairperson. Siya po yung ating ulo ng PRB Criminology. And meron tayong 2 members, si Honorable Lanin T. Palmones and Honorable Warren M. Corpus. And, di ba, sabi natin kanina, merong 4 members, 1 chairperson. As of the moment po kasi, sa recording ng video na to, meron tayong 2 vacant positions. Okay. Sa ngayon, 3 lamang po sila. Okay. Ngayon, mamaya pag-aaralan natin o pag-uusapan natin ano nga ba yung mga kapangyarihan, functions, duties, and responsibilities ng ating PRBC or Professional Regulatory Board for Criminology. Paano ba maging member ng PRB Criminology? So, sa Section 7 ng RA 11131, nasasaad ano nga ba yung requirements. Take note nyo guys, kasi medyo mahaba ito. No? Of course, number 1, dapat the applicant for PRB member is a natural-born Filipino citizen and a resident of the Philippines. So, hindi sapat na ikaw ay Pilipino at ikaw ay natural-born, dapat nakatira ka rin sa Pilipinas. Okay. Number 2, good moral character and reputation. Paano ba sinusukat yung good moral character? Okay. Mamaya, pag-usapan natin sa pag-secure ng requirements, ganun din eh. Pag-secure ka ng requirements, like for example, clearances from law enforcement agencies, gaya na lang ng NBI, diba? PNP, AFP, diba? Para lang mapatunayan na hindi tayo nasasangkot sa mga hindi kanais-nais na gawain sa lipunan, wala tayong kaso, yan, considered meron tayong good moral character. Number 3, no conviction of offenses involving moral turpitude. Yung mga offenses involving moral turpitude natin, makikita natin yan sa RPC, mga kaibigan, no? Usually, pag sinabing offenses involving moral turpitude, crimes, no, that violates honesty. It must be so grave, no, as to offend the people. Ano example niyan? Yung mga heinous crimes natin, that is a crime involving moral turpitude. So, dapat wala kang ganung kaso like murder, homicide, rape, arson with homicide, robbery with homicide. Kung mga misdemeanor lang, mga violations of traffic laws, wala yung moral turpitude. So, pwede pa rin. Number 4, academic and professional credentials. Okay, number 1, dapat graduate ka ng CRIM, obviously. Kasi PRB, criminology ito. Number 2, kailangan merong postgraduate degree in criminology or a lawyer. Ano ba yung mga postgraduate natin? We have master's degree and doctorate degrees in criminology. Yan yung mga postgraduate. Number 3, syempre dapat RCRIM at merong valid COR and PIC, nabanggit natin kanina. Number 4, dapat minimum 10 years of practice, including 2 years of teaching experience. At yung 2 years teaching experience natin, may be in part-time or full-time capacity. Either way, yan, pasok pa rin yan. Basta na-meet yung 2 years teaching experience. Number 5, member in good standing of the APO. Okay. Pero dapat hindi siya officer or trustee ng PCAP. Number 6, no affiliations with institutions offering criminology classes or review courses. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Kung mag-a-apply ang isang registered criminologist bilang isang PRB member, dapat wala siyang kinalaman sa mga review center o kaya naman institusyon na may kinalaman sa licensure examination. Halimbawa, dean ka ng school, part ka ng isang school na nag-o-offer ng criminology, hindi siya pwede maging member. Kailangan mag-divest. Kailangan niyang bitawan ng position. Okay. Bakit kaya ganun, sir? Kasi ang iniiwasan ay magkaroon ng conflict of interest. Next, ito yung nabanggit natin kanina, powers, functions, duties, and responsibilities of the board. Ano ba yung kapangyarihan nila? First, kapangyarihan nilang mag-administer, supervise, monitor the conduct of licensure examination. registration, membership in the APO, and the practice of criminology in accordance with the provisions of this Act. So basically, ang PRB ang may kapangyarihan na magsagawa, no, ng licensure examination. Sila ang gumagawa ng question, sila ang nagseset ng qualifications ng mga aplikante for the examination. Sila ang nagche-check ng mga papel ng examinee ng board exam ng criminology. Sila ang nagdi-dictate kung ano ang passing score. Kasi pwedeng i-adjust yan eh. Okay. Depende na rin sa passing percentage. At nangyari na yan in the past. And also with registration and membership sa ating accredited professional organization. Kasali yan. It is within the province of the powers of the PRB. B, to receive complaints and decide the matter as to the malpractices and ethical conduct in the practice of the criminology profession. Sa mga katuwid, kapangyarihan ng PRB na tumanggap at desisyonan ang mga reklamo patungkol sa mga registered criminologist na nagpa-practice ng profession. And with that being said, kapangyarihan din ng PRB na mag-suspend and mag-terminate ng member ng registered criminologist together with the members of the APO. Letter C, to promulgate and issue rules and regulations implementing the provisions of this act. Yan yung sa IRR, sila ang may kapangyarihan and trabaho, no, na maglatag ng implementing rules and regulations kung paano nga ba ipapatupad yung mga provision ng batas na ito, ang PRB natin. D, to promulgate and adopt Code of Ethics and Code of Good Governance for the practice of criminology. Meron na tayong mga batas. Halimbawa yung RA 6713, yung ating Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officers and Employees. Pwede yung i-adapt ng ating PRB para sa mga magpapatupad ng batas na ito. And also, sila ang may kapangyarihan niya na magbuo ng Code of Ethics ng Criminology. As of this moment, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, meron na po tayong Code of Ethics for Criminology. Kasi nung bago pa gawin ito, wala pa eh. Ang adopted na Code of Ethics, yung hindi ako nagkakamali, ay Code of Ethics of Law Enforcement for Board of Criminology pa yun. Okay. And E, to adopt an official seal of the board. Okay, kapangyarihan nila yan. Mag-decide, no, kung anong official seal ang gagamitin nila. F, to prescribe and promulgate guidelines on the conduct of a CPD program for criminologists in consultation with the APO. Yung CPD natin, mahaba yan na topic. Pag-usapan natin sa ibang video. Basically, yan yung kailangan natin i-comply for renewal ng ating professional identification card. Yan ay makukuha sa seminar. Yan din ay gawa ng batas. Hindi lang criminology ang may CPD program, kundi lahat ng professions na under ng ating PRC. Sa law, yan yung MCLE. Katumbas nun yung MCLE kung hindi ako nagkakamali. For continuing education yan as a commitment to lifelong learning na rin nating mga criminologists. Powers, functions, and duties of the board pa rin tayo. Mahaba to mga kapatid. They have the power to promulgate, adopt, or amend the syllabi and tables of specification of the subjects for the licensure examination in consultation with the APO, the Academy, and the CHED, Technical Panel for Criminology. Ito yung nabanggit natin kanina, no? Na may kapangyarihan silang yung una pala, yung kapangyarihan na dagdagan, bawasan o ibahin yung considered practice of profession. Dito naman, kapangyarihan na bawasan, dagdagan o ibahin yung nilalaman na topics sa syllabi na ginagamit sa school and also sa ginagamit sa licensure examination. Okay. Pwede sila magdagdag, magtanggal ng subject. Yun na yun, basically. And sila nga, yun nagpre-prepare ng question for the licensure examination. And ayon dito sa batas, yung mga questions ay dapat strictly confined lamang doon sa kung ano ang nasa silabay ng mga subject natin. Okay. Maliwanag yan mga kapatid. So, hindi pwede yung mga ligaw na question sa board exam na wala naman doon sa silabay. Kaya kayo kung mga estudyante at magre-review kayo for the board exam, maganda magkaroon kayo ng kopya na agad nung silabay and yung TOS. Kasi nga nasa batas, hindi pwedeng gumawa ang board, no? Ang PRB ng mga questions na wala doon. So kung may tatanungin man, nandun na lahat sa silabay and TOS. So kuha kayo ng kopya. Yan. Para mag-top kayo sa board examination kung gusto ninyo. Letter H, to issue, suspend, revoke, reinstate the certificate of registration of the registered criminologist or cancel temporary special permit granted to foreign criminologist. Okay. Yan yung nabanggit natin kanina rin na kapangyarihan nila. Kung may kapangyarihan sila mag-issue ng certificate of registration, ganun din naman na mag-suspend at mag-revoke at mag-reinstate, magbalik. Okay, maliwanag yan. And hindi lang, no? Criminologist dito sa Pilipinas, pati na rin mga foreign criminologist na gustong mag-practice dito sa Pilipinas na nabigyan ng temporary or special permit to practice the criminology profession. Letter I, to administer oaths in the performance of its function. Mamaya, pag-aaralan natin, no? Na hindi lang sapat yung pagpasa sa licensure exam, kundi kailangan din mag-take ng oath-taking. Okay. Para matawag kang ganap na criminologist sa Pilipinas. Letter J, to monitor the conditions affecting the practice of criminology and whenever necessary, adopt such measure as may be deemed proper for the enhancement of the profession and the maintenance of high professional and ethical technical standards. For this purpose, the members of the board, duly authorized by the commission, may conduct ocular inspection of establishments where criminology is practiced and recommend sanction as it may deem proper to the appropriate government agency concerned. Sa makatuwid, nasa kapangyarihan ng PRB na pulisin ang criminology profession. So kung sino man yung mga taong nagpa-practice ng criminology profession, mga lugar na kung saan na practice ang criminology profession, kapangyarihan ng board o PRB na pulisin iyan para ma-ensure na nasa ayos yung practice ng profession natin. And for the purpose na ma-maintain yung high professional, ethical, and technical standards ng profession natin. And in short, kapangyarihan ng PRB na pulisin ang pagpapractice ng profession para mapangalagaan yung reputasyon ng ating profession. Hindi masalaula, hindi maabuso, hindi malapastangan. Okay, that is letter J. The letter K, to monitor all colleges and universities offering criminology program and recommend sanctions to the CHED or to other authorized government offices for non-compliance with the policy standards and requirements as to faculty qualifications, laboratory, library, facilities and equipment, research outputs, curriculum, and administration of the criminology education. Yan. Dito naman, ang kapangyarihan ng PRB sa letter K ay mag-monitor, basically mag-supervise ng mga higher institutions of learning na merong criminology program kung nasa sa tama ba, umaayon ba sa standard na rinequire ng batas yung pag-o-offer ng criminology profession. Kung nasa expected quality ba with regard to compliance required by the CHED. Okay. or required by the law, rather. Ang kapangyarihan dito ng PRB is i-monitor ang school. Pag may nakitang violation, i-recommend sa CHED or other authorized government offices na kailangan pumulis doon sa eskwelahan. Next, to hear and investigate cases on violations of this act, it's implementing rules and regulations, the Code of Ethics and the Code of Governance and other policies, and for this purpose to issue summons, subpoena, and ad testificandum and subpoena juris tecum to allege violators or witnesses to compel their attendance in such hearings or investigations. Itong letter L, ito na yung quasi-judicial function ng ating PRB. Pag sinabi natin quasi-judicial, meron silang kapangyarihan na magsagawa ng hearing, mag-imbestiga at desisyonan yung mga masasabi nating violation ng RA 11131 or the IRR of this law, rather. Letter M, to delegate to the Commission the hearing or investigation of cases against the alleged violators. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Pag may nakita ang PRB na violation, pwede niyang i-recommend sa PRC na mag-conduct ng hearing and investigation. Yun lang naman siya. Okay. Another power is to recommend to the Commission the endorsement of cases involving violation of this Act. Okay. And other laws to the prosecution office or appropriate government agency for investigation and appropriate action. So, halimbawa, kung merong corresponding criminal case ang violation, maaari niya itong i-refer sa ating prosecution office para ang prosecution office ang mag-take charge doon sa paghahabla kung sino man ang nag-violate ng batas natin o nito, batas na ito. Letter O, to disqualify applicants for the licensure examination who has been previously convicted of a crime with finality involving moral turpitude. So, ang magdi-disqualify sa iyo is the PRB. On what ground, sir? Kapag ka ikaw ay na-convict of a crime involving moral turpitude. Okay? Hindi ka napapayagang mag-take pa ng board exam. Another is to hear and decide administrative cases against the examinees or registered criminologists if they have been convicted of a crime involving moral turpitude, provided that if they are found guilty, the board shall cancel their examination papers and preclude them from taking another licensure examination. Dito, mga kapatid, the moment na nag-violate ka ng batas involving moral turpitude at ikaw ay guilty, obligasyon na ng board na cancelahin na at pigilan ka na makapag-take ng licensure examination. You will be barred. No? Your application will be revoked or suspended as the case may be. Kung na-issuehan ka na ng valid certificate of registration. Ito yung sa mga pumasa naman na. Okay. Another, nasaan na ba tayo? Yan. Right is to conduct through the legal or hearing officers summary proceedings against the examinees who commit violations of this act. Okay. Pag sinabi nating summary proceedings, guys, ito yung mabilisan lang na hearing. Okay. Ito hindi na parang korte na kung saan kailangan pa ng arraignment, no? Pre-trial, trial, judgment. Okay. Summary hearing, mabilisan lang yan. It is quasi-judicial power of DPRBC. Ano pa? Including violation of the general instructions to examinees. Etong general instructions to examinees, ito halimbawa yung sa NOA, Notice of Admission. Sa likod ng NOA ninyo, pag take nyo ng board exam, nakasulat doon yung mga prohibited acts. Halimbawa, cheating. No? Bawal ang mangudigo sa board exam, mangopya, okay, or any other means ng pandaraya, yun yung general instruction, halimbawa, at ikaw ay nandaya, yan, you are subject to hearing, summary proceeding. Kung ikaw ay mapatunayan na guilty, hindi ka na makakapag-exam pa ulit ng criminology licensure exam. Pero yung decision ng PRB in this case may be appealed to the commission. Kung hindi, it becomes final and executory after 15 days from receipt of notice of judgment or decision. So parang sa court lang din. Letter Q, to prepare an annual report of accomplishments on programs, projects, and activities of the board for submission to the commission after the close of each calendar year and make appropriate recommendations to the commission on issues or problems affecting the criminology profession. Yan. Yan naman ay isang duty, no, and responsibility. Mag-report sa PRC. Okay? Ang PRB, criminology, magre-report sa PRC kung ano yung mga ganap, no, sa criminology profession. Ano yung mga natapos nila, nagawa nila sa taong ito, at ano yung mga problema at issue na kailangang bigyan ng pansin. Responsibility nila yan. And to exercise such other powers as may be provided by law, as well as those which may be implied from or which are incidental or necessary to the effective carrying out of the express powers granted to the board to achieve the objectives and purposes of this act. So, itong letter R or paragraph R, mga kapatid, parang yan yung catch-all provision to cover other functions of the board. Na halimbawa, kung magkaroon man ng doubt kung trabaho pa ba nila yung ginagawa nila, maaaring gamitin yung provision na to para i-justify that it is within the powers and functions of the PRBC. Okay? However, dito tayo sa however, the board's decisions, resolutions, or orders rendered in an administrative case shall be subject to review only if on appeal. Okay. Anong klaseng administrative case? Halimbawa nga yung sa pag-cheat ng isang examine. Okay, kung hindi sinisisyonan yan ng PRB, pwede mo pa yang i-appeal. Pero kung hindi ka mag-a-appeal, hindi yan i-review. It will become final and executory. Next, grounds for removal or suspension of board or chairperson or member. Okay? Yung mga nakita nating 5 na position kanina, 1 chairperson, 4 members, sila yung PRB. Ito, yung ground na kung saan maaari silang matanggal sa pwesto. Gross neglect, incompetence, or dishonesty in the discharge of one's duty. Okay? Kung meron man silang malalang kapabayaan, hindi nila kayang gawin yung trabaho nila, o kaya naman sila ay naging hindi totoo sa trabaho nila, okay, maaari silang maalis. Tanong sir, sino ang mag-aalis sa kanila? Kung sino ang nag-appoint sa kanila, nandito sa batas. They are appointed by the President and the President may remove them upon the recommendation of the investigating body. Okay. Another ground is commission of any causes or grounds and the prohibited acts provided in this act and the offenses under RPC and the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act and other laws. So, kung yan yung mga batas na nagawa nila, na-violate nila, maaari silang matanggal on that ground. Whether see manipulation or rigging of the results in the licensure examination. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Kung halimbawa, yung ating PRB or may member sa kanila na nandaya doon sa board exam, may halimbawa kinonsider na check, whatever, no, para lang may pumasa, may pinaboran siya, halimbawa, o kaya binenta yung mga questions na lalabas sa board exam bago lumabas ang board exam. That is letter C. No? At pwede yang maging ground, no, for the removal or suspension. The conviction with final judgment of any crime involving moral turpitude na naman. Okay. Pwede kang matanggal as a board or may be suspended as a member of the board. Okay. Now, dito tayo ngayon sa examination, registration, certification, and licensure examination. Sino nga ba ang pwedeng mag-take ng board exam ng criminology? Pag-usapan natin yung qualification. As to citizenship, kapatid, kailangan you are a Filipino citizen. Pwede rin namang foreign national, basta yung country na pinanggalingan mo ay merong reciprocity with the Philippines. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin nun, kung ikaw ay foreign national, maaari ka mag-take ng board exam sa Pilipinas ng criminology. Kung yung criminology profession doon sa bansang pinanggalingan mo ay pinapayagan na mag-take ng board exam ang Filipino citizen doon. Okay, yun yung reciprocity principle. Mamaya, we will talk on that later more. Dun sa foreign reciprocity provision ng RA 11131. Next, kailangan dapat merong good moral character. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin, nakasecure ka ng certificate of good moral character from the school and the barangay. Okay. Sa amin, tatlong pwede mong pagkunan noon eh. From the church, the barangay, 4 pala, including the school and your previous employment kung meron kang employment. Pero dito, school and barangay only. Goods na yon. As to educational attainment, kailangan graduate ka ng CRIM from a school accredited by the CHED or equivalent from a recognized foreign institution. Kung ikaw ay foreign national. No criminal conviction, siyempre, with a crime involving moral turpitude. O kaya naman kung ikaw ay may pending case, hindi rin pwede, kaibigan. And that's it. Pwede ka na mag-take ng board exam. Ngayon, kung ikaw man ay bumagsak ng 5 beses sa board exam na diretso or cumulative, kailangan mo ng certificate na nakatapos ka ng refresher course from an institution recognized by the CHED. Yun. So, 5 beses ka pwede mag-take ng board exam. Pag naibagsak mo lahat yan, kailangan mo na mag-take ng refresher course. That's it. And ito yung subjects for licensure examination. Meron tayong 6 areas or subject areas. We have criminal jurisprudence and procedure with a weighted percentage of 20%. LEA or Law Enforcement Administration, 15%. Forensic Science, yan yung dating criminalistics, 15%. CDI or Crime Detection and Investigation, 20%. And then we have Correctional Administration at 10%. At Criminal Sociology at 20%. Or Criminology. Okay? Criminology na ang bago nating tawag sa Criminal Sociology area. Palitan natin. Yan. Okay. Each area meron niyang 100 items. Lahat yan. So, in total, meron tayong 600 items. 3 days ang board exam natin, mga kaibigan. 200 items per day, 2 areas per day. Morning and afternoon. Sino ang pwede magturo ng criminology subjects, mga kaibigan? For licensure examination subjects pala. Okay. Ang pwede magturo ng mga professional subjects natin sa criminology ay registered criminologist. At ang registered criminologist na ito, hindi lang basta dapat registered criminologist, kailangan meron siyang valid certificate of registration, updated professional identification card, at syempre dapat active membership sa PICAP or APO at merong required CPD units. Pero yung CPD units, may issue yan ngayon eh. Suspended yan, actually. Okay. Pero take note na rin natin kasi ito yung nasa batas. And must meet additional qualification set by CHED kung meron man. No? Halimbawa nga sa school, sa mga state U, kailangan meron kang master's degree or postgraduate degree. Okay? Kung yun man ang requirement. Allied fields. Okay. Pwede rin ang ibang professional payagan magturo ng mga professional subject for licensure examination if it is deemed appropriate. Anong halimbawa? Halimbawa, forensic chemist o chemist sa mga subject na chemistry. And we also have lawyers in criminal law subjects, evidence and procedure. Yan. Kahit hindi sila RCRIM, pero yung kanilang profession ay appropriate na magturo dun sa subject, pwede sila magturo. Yun yung sinasabi ng ating batas. And then, rating in the licensure examination. Sino nga ba ang papasa? Sa passing criteria, mga kapatid, kailangan makakuha ka ng at least 75%. Yan yung average mo dapat, general average sa board exam. Totality ng 6 na area. Ngayon, yung individual subject, dapat wala kang mas bababa sa 60%. Etong nandito sa screen, yan po yung rating ko. No? So, nakakuha tayo ng 88.60 average and wala tayong below 60%. So, pasado tayo sa board exam. Meron 3 klase ng result sa board exam according to this law. Una, passing. Yan yung nandito sa screen. At least 75% ang average at wala kang 60% in any individual subject. Sir, paano kung ang percentage mo at least 75 naman pero meron kang below 60? Kapag ka isa o dalawang below 60 pero 75% or more or higher yung average mo, ang tawag sa'yo deferred ka. Okay. Yan, halimbawa deferred ka. So kung mapapansin nyo dito, guys, no? Ay, hindi pala ito deferred, wala siyang below 60, I'm sorry. Pero kung halimbawa may isang subject dito na below 60, below 60 at 75% ang average o higher, ang tawag doon deferred. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka pasado, hindi ka bagsak, nandun ka sa gitna. Ang tawag dyan deferred. Pag deferred, meron kang 2 years para i-retake yung subject na yon na kung saan naging below 60 ka. Pero para pumasa ka, kailangan makakuha ka ng 80% doon sa subject na yon within 2 years. Yun ang condition ng deferred para ikaw pumasa. Ngayon, kailan ka failed? Dalawa yung senaryo ng failed eh. No? Kapag ka una, below 75% yung average mo, failed ka sa board exam. Pero kung above 75% na lang, gaya nung nasa picture, pero meron kang 3 subject na below 75, that is considered failed. Okay? Walang ganitong batas noon. No? So, kung itong rating na ito, papasa ka pa rin. Ang taas nga niyan, 84.25. Pero, ngayon, hindi na papasa. Yan yung purpose ng ating batas. Para masala yung mga papasa sa criminology licensure examination, masala yung mga makakapasok sa profession. Okay. May angat yung quality ng profession. Okay. Yun siya. Nakakapanghinayang ang taas ng rating na yan, 96, 95, 90. Kaya lang, doon sa unang 3 area, 74. Okay. Anong nangyari dyan? Hindi kasi balanse. Hindi balanse. Hindi pwedeng magaling ka sa isang area at wala ka gaanong alam doon sa ibang area. Kailangan daw dapat balanse. Okay. Imagine mo na lang yung right-handed ka, hindi mo ginagamit yung left hand mo. Anong itsura niyan pag nag-gym ka? 'Di ba? Mas malaki yung kanan, mas maliit sa kaliwa. So, hindi siya balance. Kailangan balance. And pagkatapos pumasa sa licensure examination, kailangan mag-take ng oath of professional. Yung oath taking kung tawagin natin. Ngayon sa oath taking, ang nagsasagawa niyan mga kaibigan ay mga PRB. No? Members of the Board of Criminology or yung Professional Regulatory Board kung tawagin natin yan. Kasama dyan mga kapatid yung APO or yung PCAP natin, Accredited Professional Organization. Requirement before practice, yan ang oath taking. Hindi ka makakapag-practice kung hindi ka mag-oath taking. Okay. At kapag nag-oath taking ka, meron kayong matatanggap na COR. Syempre later on, I think mauuna pa lang makuha mo yan eh. Yang PIC tsaka Certificate of Registration. Okay? Dalawa yan guys, no? Para masabing registered criminologist ka. Tatandaan niyo yan. Hindi lang basta ID. Ang COR, yan yung parang diploma mga kaibigan na ibinibigay sa iyo ng PRC na nagsisilbing patunay na ikaw ay registered criminologist, na ikaw ay nakapasa sa criminologist licensure examination. Yung COR, wala po yung expiration. Yan yung pwede mong i-frame at i-display sa padera ng bahay ninyo. Ang merong expiration, yung ID, yung Professional Identification Card. By the way, shout out kay Sir Joshua Toribio. Katrabaho ko to sa Northwestern University. Siya yung aming gwapong-gwapong laboratory assistant. Yan. Sir Josh, pahiram muna ng ID mo for illustration purposes. Okay, tatandaan natin ha. Dalawa to para masabing ikaw ay RCRIM or registered criminologist. Kailangan meron kang valid certificate of registration at updated professional identification card. Siyempre, nag-oath taking ka. Kung wala yung mga tatlong nabanggit natin, kahit pumasa ka sa board exam, hindi ka considered registered criminologist. Tatandaan natin yan. Okay. Now, we have refusal to issue certificate or ID card. The board may deny registration to applicants for the following reason. Ito yung mga dahilan kung bakit maaari kang hindi bigyan ng PRB ng COR and Professional Identification Card. Number 1, if meron kang ang conviction of a crime involving moral turpitude. Basically, nakulong ka kasi meron kang kaso at napatunayang guilty ka. Second is immoral conduct. Kung ikaw ay napatunayan ng court na merong immoral conduct, basically merong nag-complain sa iyo and yun dun niya sa powers ng PRB na mag-conduct ng hearing, investigations, mag-require ng subpoena, no? After summary proceeding, na-determine na ikaw ay guilty of immoral conduct, pwedeng hindi ka bigyan ng Certificate of Registration or PIC. Examination violations, yun yung sinasabi natin kanina, nag-cheat ka sa exam, no? Na-violate mo yung general instructions. Okay. Pwedeng hindi ka bigyan ng COR and professional identification. O kaya naman, you have been declared of unsound mind by a court. Ibig sabihin, halimbawa, nagkaroon ka ng insanity, no? Na nasiraan ka na ng bait. Okay? Pwedeng hindi ka bigyan ng COR at ID card. And ang proseso dito mga kaibigan, yung aplikante are given written statement of reasons for the refusal and the copy is kept in the board's records. Yan, ito comply with the due process, no? Para bigyan ka ng kaalaman kung bakit ka rini-refuse bigyan ng COR at ID card. By the way, pwede namang yan i-appeal, di ba? Pero pag hindi mo in-appeal, ayon niya dito sa batas, magiging final and executory yan. Next, revocation or suspension of certificates. Dito, nakakuha ka na. Kanina, hindi ka pa bibigyan. Hindi ka bibigyan kasi nga sa mga reasons na nabanggit natin. Dito, criminologist ka na, pero babawiin sa'yo yung pagiging criminologist mo. If meron kang legal violations, halimbawa, breach of the act, yung batas natin, RA 11131, no? Na-violate mo ito. Yung kanyang IRR, yung code of ethics natin, no? Or policy ng PRC or ng PRB. Yun nga, parang kanina, moral turpitude, na convict ka with this crime or a crime involving moral turpitude. O kaya naman, involved ka sa fraudulent practice. Okay. Professional negligence, naging pabaya ka sa pagiging professional mo, sa paggampan mo sa trabaho mo. Non-renewal, okay, for a period of 6 years without valid cause. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Basically, ang validity ng ating identification card ay 3 years. No? So, yung 6 years, dalawang registration yan. So, dalawang registration, hindi ka nag-renew ng PIC. Yan. Pwedeng isuspend or i-revoke ng ating PRB yung iyong professional identification card at hindi ka na makakapag-practice. Okay. Aiding illegal practice. Ano yan? Yan yung abetting kung tawagin natin eh. Meron kang kakilala na wala namang lisensya o kaya naman gumamit ng credentials ng iba para makapag-practice. Ang tawag natin dyan, illegal practice of profession. Okay. O kaya suspendido yung tao, pero nagpa-practice pa rin, pero hinahayaan mo lang. Okay. Pwede ring ikaw ay tanggalan, no? O suspendihin yung iyong certificate at hindi ka makapag-practice. Substance addiction, yun, sa mga nagiging addict sa alcohol. O kaya naman, na-declared na may mental incapacity. Yan. Pwede kang tanggalan ng certificate of registration. Hindi ka na makakapag-practice ng profession. Pero pwede rin namang ibalik yan. Anong mga halimbawa, sir? Halimbawa, kung nawala na yung dahilan kung bakit ka natanggalan ng certificate. Halimbawa, dati na-declare kang may sakit sa pag-iisip. Ngayon, naging matino ka na gumaling ka, pwedeng ibalik naman yan. Sa non-renewal naman, halimbawa, kung ikaw ay hindi nakapag-renew at sinuspinde lang, maaari kang magbayad, no? Ng corresponding fees and penalties. Pag nagawa mo yan, maaari ding ibalik. At marami pang iba. Okay? Pag hindi na patunayan na ikaw ay guilty sa mga crime mo involving moral turpitude, then pwede namang ibalik yan. Another is non-compliance with CPD or APO requirements. Yan. Kung hindi ka sumusunod sa professional organization natin, no? O kaya mayroong taong nag-file ng complaint sa iyo, yan, pwede kang tanggalan ng certificate of registration. Hindi ka na makakapag-practice. Ito yung tinatawag natin by issuance or replacement of credentials. Yan yung pwede namang ibalik, mga kaibigan. Okay. After 2 years na ikaw ay halimbawa na revoke, yan, subject to verified petition and proof of valid reasons, pwede yung ibalik kung may valid reason ka naman. No? Replacement of lost, damaged credentials, halimbawa, yung iyong certificate of registration, nawala mo, nasira, nasunog, nabagyo, nabaha, napunit. Yan. Pwede naman niyang palitan ng PRC. Magre-request ka lang subject to payment of fees and in compliance with the rules. Okay. Section 24, non-payment of annual registration fees. Anong pwede mangyari sa'yo? Okay. Surcharges determined by the commission will apply. So, madadagdagan yung iyong babayaran. Okay. Lawful practitioners of criminology. So, dalawa yung klase ng ating practitioner. No? We have the natural persons and the juridical persons. Sabi natin kanina, pag sinabing natural persons, we are referring to individual beings. Tayo, ako, I am an individual being. Ikaw na nanonood, you are an individual being. You are a natural person. Okay, so dalawang natural person natin dito, a registered criminologist and the foreign licensed criminologist. Okay? Pwede ka mag-practice ng profession kung ikaw ay holder ng Certificate of Registration and Professional ID. Kung foreign licensed criminologist ka naman, pwede ka mag-practice ng profession sa Pilipinas provided ikaw ay nabigyan ng board and PRC ng temporary permit or special permit to practice the profession. May mga rules yan mga kapatid nasa IRR kung papaano. And another is juridical persons. No? Ang juridical persons natin, yan ay isang klase ng person under the law na may legal personality. Yan yung mga corporation, organizations, associations, cooperatives, duly registered under the laws of the Philippines. Ikaw ay nagkakaroon ng legal personality, meaning you can sue and be sued. Okay, yun ang juridical person. Institution ka, basically. At yan yung mga klase ng institusyon, mga nabanggit dyan na maaaring mag-practice ng profession. Halimbawa, number 1, single proprietorship. Ano naman yan? Ibig sabihin yan, isang institution o negosyo na ang may-ari, registered criminologist, at yung institution na to ay engaged sa practice ng criminology. Anong halimbawa? Review center. Review center may-ari ng ang may-ari, registered criminologist, nag-o-offer ng review for criminology licensure examination. Yan ang single proprietorship. No? Ngayon, kung kayo naman ay, ang may-ari naman ay maraming tao, kaya maaaring tawagin yan na partnership. No? Kaya nga partner mag-partner o higit sa isa. Okay? At registered sa SEC at karamihan sa partner ay registered criminologist. O kaya naman corporation, di ba? Yung corporation na to, yung artificial being kung tawagin natin, na mayroong legal personality under the law, registered ka sa SEC with officers and board of directors who are all registered criminologists. Diba? Ano halimbawa? Halimbawa, review center ulit. Diba? Pero marami kayo kung naging korporasyon kasi lumaki. Yeah. Yan ay considered lawful practitioner which is a juridical personality. Ito yung foreign reciprocity under Section 29. Ano ibig sabihin natin dito? May mga ang tanong, yung foreigner ba pwedeng mag-take ng board exam dito? Yes. Provided na yung country na pinanggalingan niya, pinapayagan din ang isang Filipino citizen na mag-take ng licensure exam o mag-practice ng profession doon sa kanilang country. Yan ang foreign reciprocity provision ng ating 11131. Dati kasi, nung wala to, hindi siya regulated eh. Di ba? I mean, merong provision yung 6506 with regard to foreign criminologist kapag magpa-practice sila dito. Pero dito, mas dinefine. No? Mas nag-provide ang batas kung paano siya i-regulate. Next time, i-discuss natin yung nasa IRR kung ano yung mga specifics. Okay. Section 33. Ito yung isang kailangan nating tandaan. Integration of registered criminologists. The registered criminologists shall be integrated into one national organization of criminologists that is duly registered with the SEC. The board, subject to the approval by the commission, shall accredit the organization as the one and only integrated and accredited national organization of criminologists, provided that its continued accreditation is subject to compliance with the periodic requirements and standards set forth by the Commission. Ito ang dahilan, mga kapatid, Section 33, kung bakit naging mandatory ang pagme-member sa PCAP sapagkat PCAP ang ating accredited professional organization. Ulitin ko lang pwede namang mabago yung accredited professional organization natin na PCAP kung gusto ng mga sumasalungat, gumawa ng grupo ng mga criminologist at sila ay magpa-accredit. Pero kung wala, it is the PCAP. Okay. Yan yung sabi ng batas. Kailangan nating maging united into an integrated organization, into one national organization of criminologists. Okay. Bakit kaya, sir, kailangan maging integrated? Well, the same principle, no? United we stand, divided we fall. Okay? Mas magkakaroon tayo ng impact sa society kung tayo ay merong iisang layunin bilang isang criminologist. Diba? Ang first step ay maging member tayo ng isang organisasyon na merong iisang layunin. Under dito sa batas, ang layunin na to is para iangat ang antas ng criminology profession sa Pilipinas. Pataasin ang quality ng mga nakakapasok sa criminology profession. Makaproteksyonan yung interest natin bilang isang professional. No? Yan, yung mga iilang common interest natin sa profession. Kaya kailangan natin maging isa. And then, ano yung mga privileges ng registered criminologist under Republic Act 11131? Well, parang reiteration lang to ng parang another statement ng provision ng RA 1080 or the board and bar eligibility kung tawagin natin RA 1080. Dito kasi sa RA 11131, nasabi dito, kapag pumasa ka sa board exam ng criminology, pag ikaw ay naging registered criminologist, you are considered granted automatic civil service eligibility. So, ibig sabihin, pagka board passer ka na, RCRIM ka na, nakapag-utiging ka, nakapag-comply ka lahat ng kailangan para matawag na RCRIM, pwede ka nang pumasok sa gobyerno. Automatic. And you are exempted from any government or civil service entrance or qualifying examinations na considered civil service eligibility. Ganun din naman yun nasa RA 1080. Pagpasa mo sa board exam, automatic civil service eligible ka na. Pero itong exemption dito, halimbawa, gusto mo magbumbero, RCRIM ka, meron pa rin siyang qualifying examination. Iba yun sa eligibility, guys, no? Iba yung qualifying examination pag mag-a-apply ka. Okay. Eligible ka, pwede ka mag-apply kung ikaw ay may eligibility. Pero kailangan mo pa rin mag-qualifying exam. Pero itong batas na to, exempted ka na dahil RCRIM ka. Pero ang score mo doon sa qualifying exam, automatic 75. Kung hindi ako nagkakamali. Automatic 75. Another privilege is, in terms of applicable positions, an RCRIM are qualified for a wide range of roles in government agencies, particularly in the CJS, in the criminal justice system, including but not limited to the following. Number 1, kung mga posisyon ng dactylographer, ballistician, question document examiner, forensic photographer, polygraph examiner, yan. Yung isang privilege doon ay pwede kang mag-apply sa mga ganitong positions. You are given the priority. In correctional and investigation roles, pwede sa probation officer, parole officer, special investigator or agent, intelligence agent, criminal investigator, warden, reformation officer. Yan. In terms of law enforcement, yan. Yung eligibility na dala-dala o binigay ng batas bilang RCRIM, kaya kanyang dalhin hanggang Police Lieutenant Colonel in PNP. Kung sa BJMP, ang equivalent niyan ay Jail Superintendent. Okay. Otherwise, kailangan mo na mag-take ng other civil service examination. Halimbawa, kung magiging colonel ka, kailangan mo ng Career Executive Service Eligibility. That is another exam. Kung 3 sampagita yung hinahangad mo pa at kaya pa ng edad mo. No? Pero yung RCRIM, kaya kanyang buhatin o dalhin hanggang dyan. Yan yung eligibility. Yan yung privilege ng RCRIM. Other courses kasi walang ganyan eh. Hindi binigyan ng batas. Number 4, in administrative and security positions. Basahin nyo yan. No? Law Enforcement Evaluation Officer. Yan ay sa NAPOLCOM. Pwede ring Inspector of the NAPOLCOM, Associate Graft Investigation Officer sa Ombudsman, Sheriff, Security Officer, Safekeeping Officer. Yan. Ang provision na to ng 11131 ensures registered criminologists have wide career opportunities across various sectors of law enforcement, corrections, and forensic science. Okay. So, niliwanag ng batas dito sa part na ito kung ano yung mga posisyon sa gobyerno na maaaring applyan o pasukan ng isang registered criminologist sa gobyerno. Siguro sasabihin ng iba, madali lang sabihin, no, na mag-apply, pumasok, pero in reality, hindi ganun kadali. Mga kaibigan. And that is the reality. Hindi ganun kadali. Okay. Now, with that being said, actually marami pa yan eh. But to give an emphasis, under Section 35, preference of appointment in government institution. Okay. Anong sinasabi ng Section 35? Registered criminologists are granted priority for appointment and are exempt from any qualifying or entrance examinations for roles in various government agencies and institutions. Gaya na lang ng mga nabanggit natin kanina. This ensures that their expertise is recognized and utilized in positions requiring criminological, investigative, security, corrections, and public safety skills. Okay, maliwanag ang sinasabi ng ating batas na binibigyan tayo ng pribileyo na maging priority for appointment at ma-exempt sa exam kung may qualifying o entrance exam sa mga institusyon ng gobyerno na nabanggit natin in relation with public safety agencies. Ngayon, ito yung nasa batas na pinag-uusapan natin. Tayo ang priority. Ngayon, kung in reality, hindi tayo ang priority, I don't know what you call it. Maybe, ang problema is sa implementation. Or maybe, hindi natin naaabot yung kanilang minimum requirement, or maybe, it's just sometimes, theory is different from practice. Kaya lang hindi na to theory di ba? Ito na yung batas Ito yung sinasabi ng law. Yun dapat masunod. As to the implementation, I don't know. Okay. Now, moving on. Ano yung mga applicable agencies natin? Preference of appointment. Yan. PNP, NBI, BJMP, Bureau of Fire Department of Justice, to name a few. In terms of transportation and security, we have LTO, DOTR, CAAP, we have provincial jails, provincial security offices, MMDA, at sa mga specialized departments, pwede rin ang criminologist, sa mga ano yan, special investigator, intelligence agent, yan. Commission on Human Rights, Office of the Ombudsman, yung Associate Graft Investigation Officer natin, PIDEA, Bureau of Immigration, and other government agencies and offices. Gaya na lang ng Bureau of Customs, BIR, Philippine Ports Authority, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, o DNR, DOT, DTI, even Supreme Court and lower courts. Diba? May mga sheriff yan eh. And even Public Attorney's Office. Okay. And even in GOCCs. No? COMELEC, SSS, Intellectual Property Rights Office, and Optical Media Board. Okay. Ano ibig sabihin nun? This section solidifies criminologists' role as preferred professionals in key areas of governance involving criminology, law enforcement, and public safety. Ibig sabihin, it eliminates barriers to entry, empowering registered criminologists to contribute significantly to the nation's criminal justice and security system. Ang ganda ng batas. Ang ganda ng nasusulat dito. Yan. No? Nag-uumapaw ang mga ahensya ng gobyerno na maaaring pasukan ng isang registered criminologist. So why not we use that privilege? Yun yung nasa batas. Kung hindi man tayo nakakapasok, I don't know what that is. Maybe the implementation. Or maybe we cannot really reach their minimum qualification. I don't know what you call that. However, ito yung nasa batas. Magandang aralin ng nasa batas. Section 36, ito. No? Parang wala pa akong nakitang ganito eh. Pero ito yung nasa batas. Lateral entry of registered criminologists. Registered criminologists who are, take note, who are not in the government service shall be eligible and given preference for appointment via lateral entry as police, fire, and jail inspectors or its equivalent in DPDEA, NBI, and other law enforcement agencies. Pero may condition eh, provided that they possess the general qualifications for appointment as provided in the existing laws on appointment of police officers in the PNP, BJMP, BF, PPDEA, or NBI. And that those who are already in the police, fire, and jail service as non-commissioned officers and who are already registered and licensed criminologists shall be given preference for lateral entry. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin nun, binibigyan ng opportunity and privilege yung mga RCRIM na kahit hindi sila kasali sa gobyerno, no, ay maaari silang mag-lateral entry to the rank of inspectors. Sa police yan yung police lieutenant, di ba? Ngayon, kahit wala ka sa service, yung sinasabi dito sa batas. Kaya lang, nangyayari ba yan in reality? I don't think so. Bakit? Kasi sa mga nabanggit na organization, meron ng yan eh, nag-uumapaw na yan sa mga aplikante. Gaya na lang nung nabanggit dito sa last sentence, yung mga already members, no, ng mga ahensya ng gobyerno na yan, na registered criminologist, kailangan sila yung may preference for lateral entry. So pag once may nag-vacant position, sila na yung uunahin na sila na yung mauna mag-apply. So yung galing sa labas, I don't think so. No? Except na lang siguro sa technical service. No? Pero this is the law. Okay. This is what Republic Act 11131 is saying. Section 37, we have the penal clause. Ano yung penal clause natin? Ito yung penalty kapag kami nag-violate sa mga provisions ng batas na ito at saka yung IRR. Next time na natin i-discuss yung IRR. But here it is. Fine from 100 to 500,000 kapag nag-violate ka. Or imprisonment of 2 years and 1 day to 6 years. Or a combination of fine and imprisonment at the court's discretion. So, pwede yung combine, pwede rin hindi. Pwedeng fine lang, pwedeng imprisonment lang, at pwedeng fine and imprisonment. Okay. Ano ba yung mga violations related sa illegal practice of criminology? Ito siya, mga kaibigan. Illegal practice ka kapag ka nagpa-practice ka ng criminology na wala ka namang certificate of registration at wala ka ring updated professional identification card. Anong halimbawa niyan? Ikaw ay fraud. Okay, nagpanggap ka. O kaya naman hindi ka naman fraud pero suspendido ka. Maaari kang may legal practice. Misuse of credentials. Okay. Gumamit ka ng seal, certificate, or professional ID card o tinangka mong gamitin yung card ng ibang registered criminologist o kaya permit na inisyo sa foreign criminologist na hindi naman sa iyo, no? Aiding illegal practice o pinayagan mong mag-illegal practice yung kapwa mo criminologist. Yan yung tinatawag nating abetting. You allowed them, no, na gumawa ng illegal. Wherefore, fraudulent accusation, ano ibig sabihin nun? Peke, no? Yung pagkakakuha mo ng iyong professional identification card o kaya naman permit o kaya naman certificate of registration. No, halimbawa, iba yung nag-take ng exam para sa iyo. Nagpanggap na ikaw during the licensure exam. That is fraudulent acquisition. Yan ang illegal practice. Pwede ka makulong. No? 2 years. 1 day to 6 years. O kaya magmulta 100,000 to 500,000. Or a combination thereof at the court's discretion. Number 5, impersonation. Ano na yan? Ano yung impersonation? Yan yung pagpapanggap mo bilang isang tao na hindi naman ikaw. Dito, nagpanggap ka na isang registered criminologist, pero hindi naman ikaw yung criminologist na yan. And general violation. Any provision of this act or its IRR hindi mo nasunod, that is a general violation. Considered pa rin illegal practice. And special liability naman for juridical entities. Naalala niyo yung juridical? These are, di ba? Corporation, association, organization. Duly registered under the Philippines. Kapag ikaw yung nag-commit, juridical entity ka, halimbawa institution ka, o review center ka, na-violate mo yung RA 11131, kasali dyan yung directors, board of directors, at iba pang officer, lahat kayo liable. So, medyo mabigat kapag ka-juridical entity kasi maraming damay. And, that's it for today. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, sa pakikinig. Ang part 2 nito ay Q&A naman regarding doon sa provision ng RA 11131 as to the licensure examination. So, sana panoorin yung part 2. Yun lang for today. Good luck on your criminology journey. And kung may nanood dito na magte-take ng board exam, good luck for the licensure examination. That would be all for today. See you next time.